Hello guys, Jerry speaking. Welcome to LJPCBM 1493 to your special The History of Boyfriends Part 2. Now, we were gonna do it a couple of days ago, but I decided to do it today. So let's begin in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Wow. Okay. Wow. Okay. Okay. Between 1988 and 2010, a team of creative people put together a children's broadcast show that changed American forever. That included Supposed Dinosaur. We know that. But anyway. We don't know how that works, anyway. Wow. You were special previously on that, okay?
Cheryl certainly thought this was going to take over the world, and Cheryl always had her sights really high.
You know, nobody knew that it was going to blow up. Nobody had any clue whatsoever. It was just a really small production, pretty low budget.
As things developed, the team that was put together just was a fabulous, talented group.
There was kind of an initial reaction from some people who just didn't get it, including, most notably, PBS.
So they're graphic artists, and they would design the book, and then we'd get together and we'd then produce it together.
Some of the dancers for the Me and My Teddy song, there was one girl that I really loved, and I remember I think she was kind of a role model for me a little bit.
We built a lot of the parrot puppets and a lot of the stuff in Tinker Putt's home.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
I was prepared for anything.
You're always prepared, Barney.
Wow. You're special. This is your boyfriend. Created by Matt Parrish. Anyway.
Sounds real good.
Wow. Wait. Is that Bob singing? Continue on, anyway. Wow. Wow. Stephen White, okay? Makes sense. Treasure Rainbow Beard, okay. Makes sense. Remember that episode. Anyway. Wow. 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 Okay. Wow. Okay. Good. Yeah. Even I did a boring joke through episode about this years ago. Not years ago, but months ago. It makes more sense. Continue on. Oh, that was cute. Okay. Wow.
There were two messages that were given to me about Barney when I was first asked to take part in this project. And the first one was, just use your imagination. And I was so glad that I was given the chance to turn Barney into something that kids would love.
Working on the set, it was all about the kids. You know, it was, and it was very strictly scheduled. 1 week, they're doing music. The next week, they're doing the show. You know, and it was kind of a rotation like that. Always positive attitudes. Never a foul word was spoken.
The most energetic, the most unique atmosphere I've ever been a part of. It was just a wonderful experience, and I think a lot of that is attributed to folks like Cheryl and Kathy and Dennis. I've been in broadcast video for 52 years now.
Wow.
And I can definitely say my 15 years at Barney and Friends was the most fun, the most energetic, the most unique atmosphere I've ever been a part of.
Wow. Okay. Wow, this is getting exciting. Season of changes, okay? Makes sense. Barney season 4. I was only 2 when this happened, okay? Okay?
Season 4 premiered on November 17th, 1997.
Okay?
New kids and crew joined the franchise, who continued on into the 6th season.
When I got the role, which took about a year from when I first auditioned to when I actually got accepted. So when I signed on, it was for episodes as well as,
Wow.
I think it was 3 or 4 home videos, but the very first one that I ever did was Camp Wanna Run Around.
Because here
Okay.
at Camp Wanna Run Around, we
Okay.
learn to do things for ourselves.
Exactly.
And we also like to have a good time. So let me get my guitar.
Wow.
And we'll have a real campfire sing-along. Let me just
Come on, me of Campfire Single One from 1990. Continue on.
here.
Okay? Wow. Wow.
First project I did for Barney was Camp Wanna Run Around. That was a fun show to work on.
Wow.
The way they ran the schedule for doing the shoots and everything was on a very tight schedule. They never
Wow.
went over. They always got it. You know, they planned it to a point where, they didn't have to do more than 3 or 4 takes on anything.
Wow.
Be careful!
Oh, wow. It's so much brokenness. Yeez! Yeez.
Baby Bob, I
Yeah.
asked you not to touch my tower!
You know, it makes sense, because I was told not to touch the tower, because when I was his tower, because at the time I was only like 8 or 9 when this all thing happened, and I talked about a Barney Friends vlogs episode one time, and I said it was Riot. Continue on.
I'm really
Wow.
angry! I don't know what happened.
Wow.
Helping and then so much for my surprise, and I'll never be able to rebuild Tinko Tower in time for the carnival. I am so sad, Chip. Well, I'm still pretty angry.
Well, I know you're both upset about what
Wow.
happened, but I think we can get it put back together in time.
You really
Wow.
think so, Barney?
Yes, I do. And we can all help.
Exactly.
Chip, can I help too? Please? Okay, Baby Bob.
Uh,
Oh, thank you.
I had never puppeteered before other than putting a sock on my hand
Wow.
as a kid and sitting behind a couch. I was an actor at that time, and my
You know, when I did a custom-made Barney home video, everyone's happy, and that didn't make more sense on the whole hand on the sock, on all that we said, which I did mention earlier in my reaction video to, when I, on Todd Duffy's, scooter video on my LJPCBM episode at that point, Pepper Road's podcast. Which, by the way, it was dedicated to Brian Armstrong and the way Jim Lehrer, who got me inspired to do film and TV over the years. But this had to make sense. Continue on.
And she said, "Hey, I've got a television audition for you. It's for Barney and Friends." And I said, "Great! That's a Hollywood show?" And she said, "No, this is in Texas. I lived in Texas at the time." And she said, "This is right down the highway. How do I even prepare for this?" She said, "You got to go in with some kind of puppeteer type thing. Put a sock on your hand." And so I went through that whole process. Got my best tube sock, and I went down. I got called in with one of the biggest, burliest guys who was in the hallway, and he was left-handed. I'm right-handed. He's supposed to be Miss Etta Ket, the bird who has etiquette and form and is dainty about things. We had booked the job just because we paired so well together.
Wow.
Oh, dear. Oh, nice.
Peanut butter, pick a peck of pickle pepper.
Wow.
A peck of pickle
Season 6, not 4. Anyway, continue on.
Peanut butter pick. With a peanut butter pick of pickle
Wow.
pepper. Where's the pickle?
Wow.
That's no good.
Wow. Wow.
That's no good at all. That's not what's in the script. Hold on.
You said it was bad here. You should have been back into it.
Wow.
Script right there now.
Great Scott!
If I
It
can
says
touch
she's
it,
on
you can
seashells with a seashell.
Yeah.
I want to say there were 13 kids that made it.
Wow. You put Danny's interview, okay.
maybe 400 or 500 group down to about 13 or so. I got a call back after that, and they were like, we want you to be a part of the show. And so I joined along with 2 other people midway through season 400. That was when I got to be Danny. Anybody could audition for the show, which was great. I love that. I think it's wonderful that anybody that had this desire could go on.
I mean, this kid kind of reminds me of Alan from Sesame Street. This kid, don't get me wrong, but it makes more sense. Continue on.
And whether you had trained a lot or not, did you have I didn't have an agent at the time. I was just like a normal kid, just going to be on the show.
I worked with this guy named Steve Tennyson, who was a producer at Richard and Edwards, this ad agency in New York, and we did truckloads of Cabbage Patch Kid commercials. Well, Steve relocated to Texas, and
Angelo Nelly? Okay, makes more sense.
That TV production complex where Barney was being produced at the time, he got to know the Barney people, and so they mentioned, we're looking for some new writers, new songwriters. And Steve goes, well, you need to call Angelo Natale.
Wow.
So he called me, and he told me, I gave your name, and they're going to call you, blah, blah, blah. And I hung up, I go, this is awesome, this would be, even if I wrote 3 or 4 songs for Barney, it would be so cool. They called me in, they really liked my work, and I ended up writing 34 songs for Barney.
I was sent by my agent about the 4th season in, I think.
Wow, Earl Fisher. Wow, Booker T. Book 1. Okay, makes sense. Wait, Harvey a Promi announcer? He was that too? Okay, makes sense. Continue on.
Maybe it was. They decided they wanted to have some new characters, but instead of them being giant, life-size people costumes, they decided to do it with puppets instead. To have some additional little characters. So they had a squirrel and they had a hen. They did a casting call, and I went out there, and I didn't get the parts. And a few months later, they introduced a 3rd character, which was the bookworm. They just brought me in by myself. It wasn't a casting call. And they just said, hey, we've got this other character, and they described Booker T and what he was going to be like, and, they thought his backstory was and everything. And they said, well, let's just play around. You give us some ideas of how you think we should do this. And so it's kind of like a little bit of being brought in to consult, because they didn't tell me that they were booking me or anything like that. And so I just started throwing a bunch of different, character ideas at them, and voices and things like that. And we eventually kind of collaborated to come across what Booker T ended up with. And they said, okay, fine, then you'll do it that way. I was like, oh, okay, so the gig is mine. Great.
There are so many books.
Wow.
I just had to look through them all. Hey, over here.
Wow. Even though it's acquired from this is a library from the All That series. Continue on. Wow. Wow.
I can show you where to look. Who's being so noisy? Me.
Wow.
I'm Booker T. Bookworm.
Wow.
I live here at the library, and I know everything about every book.
Wow.
Pleased to meet you, Mr. Bookworm. I'm Barney, and these are my friends.
Wow.
Hi.
Robert.
Hello.
Ashley.
Nice to meet you.
Curtis.
Hi.
And Kristen.
Hello. Nice to meet ya.
Wow.
Call me Booker T, everyone.
Wow. Booker T. Book 1. Wow. Okay. Continue on.
There was a period of time that I was doing all of the promo narrations. So, I'd come in, there'd be a stack of promos to read, and they would get slapped on the front or the back of the home videos. The DVDs, or earlier than that, they were VHS.
Don't miss Barney, starring in his very first movie, coming spring '98 to a theater near you.
Wow. Wow. Okay. It all makes sense now. Even though the movie is great and it's amazing. Okay? Todd Pratt and Diane Rice and Trevor Morgan are amazing. So I thought it'd be great enough. So there you go.
Thank you, Marcella.
Wow.
Oh, and thank you.
So yeah.
It's so nice to have a shower after a long car trip.
It was just to me now, this is kind of like
Wait.
the description of
Colin was in the documentary? Okay. Good job, Colin. D1.
how do we take a 30-minute TV show that does nothing but teach?
And speaking of which, Colin, if you, Kaylin, you pronounced this. I pronounced it wrong. Kaylin. If you, I'll get to the tribute T-River tributes thing ASAP. Continue on. Anyway.
Learning basics and love and singing every 5 minutes. How do we turn that into an hour and like 15-minute movie?
Wow.
That's the challenge that I think they handled well. Overall, yeah, I think it was a good experience.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a good, to me personally, is maybe a good way to introduce somebody to Barney.
I also was helping on the Barney movie.
Oh wow, Joseph Hernandez. Okay, let's make more
My
sense here.
job was taking all of the dailies. The show was being shot and videos were being sent to us on a daily basis of everything that was shown the day before, and it was my job to make copies of those videos and share them with the powers that be.
You know, when I did a bedtime stories episode on some Barney's Great Adventure stuff, I think it'd be more perfect. So there you go. Continue on. Mm-hmm.
A dinosaur.
Mm-hmm.
Barney the dinosaur? Stephen White at that time, big Barney writer, of course, was going to write the movie. And
Wow.
so he was leaving sort of this big hole in the television writing group. It's Margie Larson. She called one day and said, hey, would you like to write for the television show? And I said, well, sure. So they auditioned 20 writers, and they hired 2, and I was one of the 2 that they hired.
I can remember.
Wow. Okay. Once upon a time. Okay.
Baby frog. Look, I'll show you.
Oh wow.
It starts out as a little clear egg in the water.
You know, when I did this Barney and Friends vlogs episode at that point, on this, it makes more sense. Continue on.
The tadpole hatches
Say
from
what?
the egg. It looks sort of like a fish. It has a tail and swims underwater. Oh,
so
that's a baby frog. Yeah, when a tadpole begins
Wow.
to grow legs, its tail...
You know, it kind of reminds me of let's say, Tadpole Kids from the Big Comfy Couch difference. Continue on. Anyway.
Shorter and shorter.
Wow.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Then what happens?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Let's see.
pretty soon a tadpole's tail is gone, and it becomes a frog. with
Wow.
big back legs.
Kermit the Frog difference. Continue on.
Just right for hopping out of the water
Mm.
and all around the pond.
Wow, okay.
So that's cool.
Wow, Kermit the Frog. Okay. I'll be right back. I'm back, folks. Sorry about that. I just had to pause it right there, so let's continue on. Wow. Mm.
I'm in the music business touring rock and roll mostly, and a friend of mine, a guy called Steve Howard, who'd been approached by Sloan, I think, to produce the tour. And there was a company called TNA. We all flew to Dallas. That would have been Steve, myself, and we met Sloan and Dick Leach. And I don't think we knew what we were getting into. I think we thought it was some sort of cottage industry.
Wow.
A huge property, you know, a huge character, and a very popular one. And they wanted to take it on the road. Cheryl thought it should be in theaters. Sloan and I, you know, we had this idea we'd do cut down arenas. So, you know, we did a lot of casting kids, then built the show, and then technical rehearsals, and we did it in a rodeo barn in Fort Worth. It was very basic. We traveled on Monday. We loaded in Tuesdays. We did a tech rehearsal Tuesday night. We did a full performance rehearsal Wednesday morning. And we opened Wednesday night in the city.
Wow.
And then we play Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday night, and then 3 shows on Saturday and
Wow.
2 shows on Sunday. That's the way. It was 8 shows a week in each city. We toured for 46 weeks a year.
Wow. Wow. Hey Wilson, okay. God rest her soul. Anyway, continue on.
I was on tour as insurance, basically.
Well, David Price, who's later become on Wheel of Fortune as Wheel of Fortune as a contestant. He's a director and actor. Continue on. Anyway.
Because Bob had pre-recorded the whole show, so they were afraid that maybe Barney might accidentally fall off the stage, or if the guy fell over in the suit and couldn't get back up, that they needed somebody there who could say, you know, uh-oh, I got a boo-boo. But they found out that the guys were so good, you know, in the suit, and they got to know the stage so well, and they got close at times. And there was one time I stepped in because there was just something crazy that happened with Mother Goose or something. 99.9% of the time, I just sat in a booth, an audio booth, watching on a television screen, following along with the script, and just in case something happened.
Here we go.
I got a call in December of 1998.
Laurie Perry, okay.
They were changing the lighting crew. We had a wonderful production designer, Bob LaValle.
Wow.
I mean, this guy was so creative. It was always a delight for me to sit in his office, and he would roll out these large blueprints.
Okay.
And we would go page by page on a new show. And he would give me notes, and I would have my own copy of the blueprints.
It was really great. You know, I always felt like they did really, even behind the scenes, there was just like, I don't know, it was a really wide range of people, and you know, just like different backgrounds and all of this kind of stuff, which was really great. I think they did a really nice job with the cast because there were so many different backgrounds and ethnicities represented, and without making it necessarily a huge point, it was really great representation for anybody, and it was great for me as a young kid to be surrounded by all sorts of different kids. I mean, it was very much like my normal life, and I think that's something that Barney did a really wonderful job of.
Everybody was just so nice, and I don't think it was just because we were kids. They
Wow.
were just really nice, genuine people, and they just loved coming to work. I mean, all of us, I think, just love coming to work. We wanted to make it a good show, and we wanted, you know, if that was our role, whatever we were doing, we would all help each other. Hey, here's an idea. Do this. Make it easier for you, and so that you can really, you know, really shine and really do the craft.
You know, in Dallas, Barney was a pretty well-known entity. Yeah, because it was one of the shows. You know, very very few shows that were producing on a regular basis.
I want to say 1996. I was freelancing. They contacted me and said they were looking for a post-production supervisor. So I interviewed for the job. The job went to somebody else because the somebody else had hands-on experience. I never learned hands-on post-production. About a year later, one of the senior producers called me up, who I had interviewed with, and he said, Bob, I made a big mistake about a year ago. Would you come and talk to me? And so I went and talked with him again, and I said, what was your mistake? So he said, well, the guy that I hired, you know, great hands-on. He said, but he's not a manager, he's not a people person, and we'd like for you to, you know, consider joining us. And so that's how it happened. So I joined him in 1997.
Wow.
I was there for almost 7 years.
It's
Wow.
cold out there.
That just makes it extra cozy in here.
Night before Christmas. Okay. 99. Makes more sense. Continue on. Anyway. It made perfect sense.
Someone is getting sleepy.
No, I'm not. Well, maybe just
makes
a
sense.
little.
Oh, that's good. After all, Santa may be up in the sky right now, just flying in circles until you fall asleep.
Perfect sense.
In one of the Christmas shows. I was in the 500 and 600 and a couple of the 700 series. And then I came back a few years later, and I was a technical director.
Besides doing some work at Color Dynamics, I was called in. I think Jim Rowley called me in to do Barney's Christmas Star, which we shot on the B stage at studios at Las Colinas.
As a child, I mean, I was watching it all the time, and there was a purity
Wow.
to it.
Corey Dorham. If you're watching this, yeah, that was great. Continue on.
There was an innocence. It introduced a character that could be your best friend. It taught kids to really learn how to use their imagination, to be able to have that imagination and use that. I think a lot of people don't understand that that's such a huge part of childhood.
Personally, how has Barney affected your life?
I think that besides being exhausted all the time, Barney, I'm able to see that what I'm doing truly matters. And I think that that's the most rewarding thing that someone can ask for their life. So I feel like I'm probably one of the luckiest people in the world because I'm making a difference.
Barney, welcome.
Wow.
Oh,
The time at me.
Mr. Willie,
Okay.
you just call me Walt.
Okay,
What's that?
Walt, and you can just call me Barney.
What do you say?
Rewarding thing that someone can ask for their life in the world because I'm making a difference.
Barney, welcome.
Oh, well, thank you, Mr. Willie.
Oh, no, you don't have to call me Mr. Willie. You just call me Walt.
Okay, Walt, and you can just call me Barney.
Wow.
I must say, Barney, you look just great tonight. Very dapper, all decked out.
Well, the invitation said black tie and tail.
Wow.
Well, Barney, I think we better get down to business and present the award for Outstanding Animated Program.
Oh, that sounds super duper.
Wow.
Gee, Barney, I wish you'd cheer up a little bit.
Wow.
And the Emmy goes to
Tiny Toon Adventure.
Wow.
And the problem with Barney and getting an Emmy was adults vote for it. Adults hate Barney. They don't vote for Barney. That was one of our biggest issues. We had the funny part of it is they got one for lives.
Wow. Just wow. Adults hate Barney. That was Barney bashing. And it was too much. 'Cause I watched the documentary of I Love You, You Hate Me documentary, which I'll talk about that in Born jokes pretty soon, but it's just too much. Continue on.
Mixing. And they're up against Oprah. Oprah and Barney
Oprah? Wow.
on the same thing because Barney's obviously, it's rehearsed, it's pre-taped, it's edited, it's sweetened, it's all this other stuff, and they come compared to Oprah under a condition of live mixing.
First 4 years I was with them, we got Emmy nominations. They were happy, I was happy, and finally won one that next year in 2001.
Wow.
At the height of everything for Barney, soon came changes that would shake up everything in between. Cheryl Leach left the franchise in 1998.
The creative was pretty well established for the show, but
He was a writer, not a camera operator. Continue on.
it was a real psychological change in that Barney was Cheryl's baby. It was just a little bit unthinkable that she wouldn't be there. So yeah, that was a change.
Yeah, it seemed to become a little bit more corporate. The production grew so much that in the early days, the first couple of series, PBS series, the first several home videos, everybody was in Allen. Then for Series 300, the production moved over to the sound stages in Las Colinas. Post-production stayed in Allen. And eventually then, particularly once they spun Barney off into Lyric Studios and it was no longer under DLM or Color Dynamics, they had corporate offices in an office building in Richardson. And so eventually everybody was all spread out.
Wow.
One of the producers had said to me when I started talking about leaving the show, he said, yeah, we've pretty much done everything we're going to do with this character and we're kind of in a maintenance phase. And I hadn't thought about it that way, but to really make something new, that's what
That was Regis and the right side, left, middle, and center. Excuse me. Okay, anyway. But yeah, I felt worried for Bob West when he left. I thought Bob was doing season 7 through 9, but no, he didn't do anything like that in the Parks era. Continue on.
really wanted to do and to get back to. So
So I left the show and I never really looked back, except for one time when they had me back for the PBS Kids Sprout launch, which was great because I got to work with Carol Spinney, which was amazing.
Wow. You know, it was amazing because I heard about him at Beast 2, Bob West and Carol Spinney. I did not meet Carol in person, but I saw his work. That was it. I did have his books. I'll talk about that in book reviews. That was basically it. And then Bob West. He saw me before. That was basically it. In 2020, he did talk about nearly 1,000 episodes ago. In 2020 May. He made a cameo on my LJPCBM 500 episodes. And he did cameo on my thing. I'm like, say hello, things like that. That was it. Continue on.
It was a challenge when he decided to leave because he was the guy I started with. And, you know, the same thing with Joyner. I mean, you know, these were the guys that I knew and I could trust. I knew they could do their job and I knew that they would. In fact, they knew more about it than I did. I remember going through the sessions where we were auditioning voices and trying out different people, and the producers would ask my opinion. They'd send me tapes and say, what do you think of this guy or this guy? You know, Dean was great. It wasn't quite like Bob does it, but you couldn't expect him to do it exactly like Bob does it. Carrie was great to work with. They loved kids, and they honored the show. They were respectful to the show, and because they believed in the greater purpose of the show, they never did anything to embarrass the show.
Wow. Just wow. I just thought it'd be a great idea to do. Oh, September 2nd, 2002. Yeah. What a joke. What a joke. Do you want? Wow. Just waste of time. Anyway. Wow. 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 Makes more sense anyway. Wow.
We had the Carrie Stinson Dean Went combo. You know, they're well acted, they're well written.
Yeah. Emily, if you watch this is a great addition to make on with your interview. Do you want?
It's a great two. The set, particularly in season 7 and 8, looks really good.
I was working with a bunch of people that
John Knight.
I've known a long time, and really, it was a good atmosphere crew-wise. Particularly that last stretch that I did.
Today, someone special is moving here, and his name is
Wow. Wow, it's a cousin.
Well, he's your cousin, baby Bob.
Wow. Surprises.
I guess you could say, like, now that we know that Riff existed, there's probably other dinosaurs in Barney's world that we don't know about.
Hiya, cousin Rick. It's me, good old BJ.
Hmm.
You remember me, don't you?
Wow.
And me, good old baby Bob. What
Hmm.
do you want to do first, cousin? Oh, there's lots to do here. Let's go
Wow.
free. What do you say? Yeah, we could do
Wow. Wow.
party. Well, we could do that too. Right after we ride by.
Wow. Wow.
You know, they started getting into trying to do conflict resolution. And I was like, well, what kind of conflict do they have? You know, it always worked out. There was one where BJ decided to help paint the caboose. And then the way they resolved it was everybody came in and helped put it back to normal.
Wow.
I'm sitting here going, who didn't notice that BJ was painting the caboose?
Wow. Wow.
Oh, don't feel bad, Beach. Everybody makes mistakes. I made some pretty
Mm.
big ones myself. Oh yeah, me too. I made some. We
Wow.
You get the creator is not there anymore, and you have the big studios, and the big studios have an idea that it's got to be, you know. I think sometimes it almost felt like we're going to do something just because we're new and we own it now. Didn't matter if it was the best thing to do. We're just going to, you know, I own it now, so now we're going to do it. In fact, at one point, Lionsgate wanted us. They wanted PG something or a G in there, and we were all, oh no, they're gonna start blowing up things, you know.
Wow.
Oh, and but they got away from the heart of it. When
Hit Entertainment bought us, they kept wanting to expand the audience. Everyone kept wanting to get the audience to an older crowd, make it palatable to an older group. Those of us working on it knew that the show was for kids that were old enough to look at a television to about 5 or 6. 6 was kind of the top end, because then they would get, you know, the peer pressure to not watch Barney anymore.
Wow. This is sad.
Despite many attempts to keep Barney fresh, on November 2nd, 2010, Barney and Friends was canceled. Although Barney's home videos and DVDs continued to be released into 2017, the show was over. It was the end of an era.
When they finally shut all of us down and closed down all the operations in Allen, we were all pretty devastated, although I don't think anybody was completely shocked that they would do it. But it did, it was one of those, wow, that we're finally gone.
Wow.
It was mesmerizing for children. I know my daughter grew up on the Barney videos. I mean, we played them nonstop.
I see it now often in people I meet who find out what I've done, and what they say about A, how it affected them, or B, if they're older folks, how it affected their children. It just reminds me on every one of those occasions that we just did a lot of good stuff, you know, kinds of messages we were sending to kids, and the educational aspects of our show.
Yeah. That was just too much, people.
I thought, seriously, that Barney would be evergreen. In other words, I didn't think it would ever really stop. You know what I mean? Whether I was a part of it or not doesn't matter, but I thought, this is too popular with the kids. You know, what could possibly go wrong? And there are people who, like, are better, you know, analysts than I, like, what kind of happened there? I didn't work on it for very long, but even that short amount of time that I did, you know, make some lifelong friends. But that was the bonds that we all established on working on that.
I think everybody kind of knew it was coming. By then, the show had been kind of bounced around between ownership, and those last couple of years were really kind of difficult because, you know, we were pressed for budget, and we were trying to cram all the stuff we were trying to do at the same high quality and production values into a shorter period of time and with less money, and so that was tough to deal with in terms of what we had before, and we actually weren't super sure that it was finished completely when we wrapped. There was some talk that, you know, it still could possibly come back, maybe another video or two at least. So we kind of held out hope for a couple of years, but you know, can't say it was a shock or anything that it didn't continue.
Didn't continue? No. I don't know what happened except for Barney's World.
Is everyone having a good
Wow.
time?
Wow.
What is it about Barney you think that makes him so popular?
Well, I think it's that Barney connects with children. Barney is just for children. There are many things out on the market that are written on two levels, to appeal to adults and to appeal to children at the same time. And Barney was written to really connect right to children.
Wow.
At least to me, the fact that Barney was so unconditionally loving to everyone, I think made him most accessible to any child, any adult, anyone that would perceive him.
Barney accepts everyone. And so in those later years, it was great because you saw, even in the original 3, you saw different ethnicities, you saw different physical attributes of children. And so everybody was loved by Barney. And so if there was a place that you were scared or you were lonely, Barney was always there for you.
Before our children, we knew about Barney because, everybody's kid was watching Barney. And then when we had our first child in 97, we had every Barney there was. We had to watch the show. We had to get the videos, So, yeah, I love you. Yes.
Wow.
He just had this sort of magical sense of this over-the-top positivity about him that I think really attracted children.
Many people ask me whether or not I'm surprised by Barney's success. And I always say the same thing, no. Because the team behind Barney believed that Barney would be successful from the first moment we started.
You're all very special in
Wow.
many different ways.
You're special too, Barney. Yeah, you are.
Wow, exactly.
Gosh.
You're special because you're the best friend that we could ever have.
Thank you.
Famous
Wow.
Barney.
Wow.
You said
Wow.
Barney the dinosaur.
Wow. Wow.
Now,
Family Feud. If you watch this, guys at the people at the game show community, people sue me for that. Continue on.
Rubble was with the dinosaurs. Is this a different dinosaur? This is the purple dinosaur? Okay.
Wow.
It's not the, okay.
Mm.
19 points. Is it right
Wow.
here?
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I was a huge Wheel of Fortune fan, and I branched out of Wheel years ago, 2016, 2020, except for the fact that I watched Wheel again after Jeopardy's host Alex Trebek's passing, but that's just me. Continue on. Anyway.
For a major purple dinosaur. Okay, and you
Wow.
said that you were like the backup voice? Yes, I was.
Wow.
And if you were here, I think you would say, Wheel of Fortune is super super.
Wow.
But you were a children's writer, and you wrote for Barney the dinosaur. I'm so excited.
I totally did.
We lived around Barney. We went to see Barney.
Wow. Sandra Payne. Wow.
We just... No, I love Barney.
Thank you so much.
They're not doing original Barney.
No, he's retired.
He's gone to the old dinosaur home there.
Yes, they bought. Good, very.
Wow.
Now, where's the Barney video with all my granddaughter wanted? We passed on that. You can only get that at Blockbuster Video.
Wow.
At the Blockbuster Holiday Gift Center.
Wow.
Barney video and get Barney for just $9.99. Plus, there's thousands of great gift ideas ready for under $10. So this year, keep them entertainment.
Look, Grandpa. They're going to Blockbuster.
Wow. Wow.
Barney was loved by children all over the world, and everyone involved saw it happen. But there were those who didn't understand Barney.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, that backlash. Mm-hmm.
Like to him.
Here, I'll walk you out of the door.
Wow.
Yes, I hate Barney. Barney is the bane of my existence.
This is too much.
The purple giant with big teeth and kids around the country are crazy about him. Barney Mania has swept this land, but I met some folks who are sick of Barney.
It's stupefyingly stupid things happen on the Barney show. We've got a Barney dysfunctional family. Dinosaurs are made to eat small children, not teach the concept of social equality.
We want adults to be entertained, not be entertained, but to approve of what we do and to feel good about what we do. But it's really not for adults, it's just for kids.
Right.
Exactly. Exactly, Cheryl.
Barney move into an adult world.
it just doesn't fit. There are shows that are substantially more annoying, if you will, than what Barney was, and I don't think any shows should be bashed because the people who
exactly.
create those shows, that's their dream, that's their hard work. They created something that they believed in. It's so strange that people don't give Barney that respect that he deserves. You know, they give it to Sesame Street and they give it to Mr. Rogers and Blue's Clues, but they don't give it to Barney, which is strange because Barney, if you look at TV now, everybody is taking the Barney formula. You can see the elements of Barney that he created in the 90s, that group, Cheryl Leach and all those guys created. And
You know, it makes sense, Mr. K. I have to make more sense because I think, for one, it would make more difference between the whole thing and the whole entire interviews you did talk about earlier in the whole entire thing in part 2. This all makes sense with Barney. So, these 3 and other things to tell children's shows you like. For me personally, I like the kind of both, like preschool and Disney size and SpongeBob. T1.
see the impact that they've made on shows that came before them and after them. So for him to be the one that they ignore so much, it's kind of strange.
Yeah.
Barney has no real scandals to speak of. And I found this out as I was researching it, is that people think that there are scandals with Barney, but there's no scandals to speak of. There really aren't.
He was disliked by so many people, but so many more kids loved it. They just loved it. You know, and then there was a lot of parents who said, "Oh, I love Barney," and I think they got it. They got the voice, but you know, a lot of people just didn't like the whole sing-songy thing, and a lot of people will remember that. But you know, long after those people are gone, the kids will remember it, and they think that they love the show, and they, you know, and they probably still talk about the show with fondness.
People don't realize generally that this was a job. I mean, it was 40 hours a week. And even though you're 7 or 8 or sometimes even younger in some of the later seasons, you gotta show up because it's like if you don't do your part, then there's like hundreds of other people that are showing up to work that can't go on their lunch break, or you know, like you're a part of this operation. You know, it's really important.
Carve World Tour, okay? Perfect sense.
You love me. His mother said, "I hate that song," and you go, "Well, you managed to leave your kid by the video player on the TV while you do the housework for 3 hours. It can't be all bad, can it?"
There was 2 women who were in charge of the educational aspects of Barney, and they were PhDs in child development. We read a child development book before we got assigned any episodes. We were very, very specific about writing for the 2 to 4 crowd. There was never allowed to be an if-then statement because kids who are 4 can't follow that. Like if you set something up at the beginning of an episode and then you paid it off at the end, they don't follow. You were specifically writing for that age group, and I think partly that is why adults found it so annoying. Popeye cartoons would embed inappropriate humor in there for the adults, and we were never allowed to do that with Barney. We were never allowed to embed adult humor or adult content of any kind into a Barney episode. It was always just
Unlike those Born Jokes episode I did. Like I said, it was like adult humor and Born Jokes wise in a Barney video, which I talk about Born Jokes, but not as Barney history fans. But I did want to talk about on John's jail and I happen to have this correct as well. But anyway, John Phelps Barney's Facebook page, which I did say about some Born Jokes episodes in the works on past Born Jokes episodes on Barney's Halloween Party, for example. Just one of my best ones about Halloween. Of course, and another example is Waiting for Sam. And I'll get to some past Born Jokes episodes I did. Rock with Barney. It was episode 1, okay? In 2018. I was going to do it in 2014 November. But with the help of making this happen, I decided to push this back until I found it fondly until August of 2018. I found some. It was rare to me, and I found clips of Boring Jokes episode number 7, episode 1, and then I did found managed to do. I'm gonna check episodes right now related to Barney. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and check my playlist and see. Those are the playlists I have right now, and I've been monetized. That's good news for me. So I'm looking at the playlist right now. I'm not quick on to do a cover reason. No, come on. Don't. You go. So I'm thinking it'll be ready, come on, move it. There we go. Warren Jones, there we go. Thank you. Library. Thank you. Now, these are, so far I'm playing on 28, so right now, I forgot to add some Boring Jokes episodes. Anyway, we're at Rock with Barney so far. Then we got another Barney video I added on my list, we got Barney at concert. I talked about Wayne for Santa before, okay? Then we got, another Barney video I did, Backyard Show, for example. Then Bar of New York City and Imagination Island. That's all I did. So let me see. That's all I did. Yeah, Free Wishes, The Day at the Beach. Let's see. Day at the Beach. Yeah, let me see. That's it. That's all I did on that day. Let me see. Episode 30 was the Christmas Tree, one of the worst Christmas specials ever. Let me see what else I did. I did 27, 28 Boring videos, Boring Jokes versus Boring videos. So that's probably the reason why I didn't want to end Boring videos once for all. So that's the reason why I did that. So, overall, that's all the Boring Jokester episodes I've did so far. And let's continue on.
Written for children.
And it does irritate me that over the years, things would come out, Barney was a pedophile and this and that, and I'm like, nothing could be further from the truth.
I think, kids kind of are enthralled with dinosaurs, and I think making him approachable, and a friend and a pal, somebody they could trust.
Also in the Singer report, they mentioned that the Barney bashing reflects a cynical lack of awareness by adults that infants and preschoolers need consistent exposure to love, comfort, and security. This is something that we feel strongly about as well.
Yes.
Barney says to all kids that they're special. He encourages children to enjoy themselves, to enjoy life, and to enjoy each other.
We can do lots of things when we get big, but if I get big, I can't be Barney's friend anymore.
Wow.
That's not true. No matter
Wow.
how big you get, you'll always be my friend
So.
forever and ever. Feel better.
All better. Barney, may I hug you again?
Wow.
Sure, Patty.
It's the blind, Patty, yeah. Yeah, it's kind of reminding me of, let's just say, AIDS Man, who's a blind contestant on Jeopardy. Continue on.
You're a special new friend, Barney.
Oh, so are you, Patty.
Wow, Memorial, wow. Okay. Frank Wilson, also passed away in 1999. Richard Lee, James Charles Productions, passed away in 2001. Wow. Patty Goldsmore, Grammy Jonathan, passed away in 2003. Wow. Stephen Baltz died in 2000, same year.
Stephen
Okay.
and I were partners for 16 years, so he was a part of my life that we met working on a show, and then went on this cruise ship where we met Dick and Rose. And Stephen had a daughter as well who was just a little older than the Barney.
Wow. Liz. Okay. Continue on.
Who loved singing and dancing. So she was there with us that summer. And in fact, Lizzie did the scratch vocals, we call them, where she would sing the songs, and Stephen played so that the children could take them home and learn them. So there was a child's voice to it, and that was also part of selling the songs. And so he just loved kids. He fell in love with the whole concept of it, which is why all the songs, they asked him to come back and continue working on this.
Stephen and I met in college at the University of Wisconsin, Milwaukee. Then later he moved to Los Angeles, and we wrote more Barney songs in Los Angeles, and it was just it was great to hear my songs, our song. Some of them I wrote by myself. Couldn't have done it without Stephen. God bless him. God rest his soul.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm big and I'm friendly.
Blackmore. Wow. Died about, yeah. Kind of, let's just say, Mr. Billy, Pearson. Yeah, that's it. I want to pronounce that. Alex Paris, watch this. I'm sorry, but that's just me. Continue on. I mean, I posted a trip movie series. Anyway, continue on. Wow.
I'm the purplish creature. I'm
Wow.
Barney the dinosaur.
Wow.
Oh, how'd you ever guess?
Wow. Sure, yeah, so, wow. Wow! Shocking. Margaret, 2009, wow. Yeah, I talked about this last episode, wow. Penny Wilson, yeah. God, yeah, I said God was so early, yeah, back in the last episode, continue anyway, yeah.
And I were great friends, and we worked hand in hand on the show.
She just had a heart for kids, and she
Well,
was a decent, kind person.
Holy cow, she was a tour de force.
Well,
she really made sure that it was a great place for us to work. She was kind of like our mom on set, is what the way I would describe her. She was the one that was giving us all of the dance moves, all the blocking, the choreography. I could hear her voice that, don't forget this step that's coming up, or in a really kind and loving, firm, but yet really, really kind and loving. And it was really sad to hear that she had passed, because she is one of the core memories that I have of being on the show in all the best ways possible.
Wow.
And Miss Penny did a really good job of preparing us the week before with the rehearsals before we actually started filming. So I for sure want to give Miss Penny some credit there, because she did a great job preparing us and making sure they had the moves down and the timing and the lines that go in there with it. So she was really great.
Oh, Santa Claus. Henry, Hemlock. Wow, it's shocking. Mr. Santa Claus. Wait. Died the same year I graduated from high school? 2014. Continue on, anyway. Wow. Wow, Steve Tennyson, video top writer, died in 2014. Wow. Wow. John Greel, wow. Worst years ever for me. Dan Stephon, died in 2018. Wow. But, yeah, I did talk about Bryce Armstrong many times. Anyway, yeah, he died in 2020. Wow.
Oh, I'll be okay, Barney. I just lost a few tail feathers sneezing.
Wow. Oh, yeah, oh, wow. I do want to talk about Tommy's work in my upcoming bedtime story episodes and boring jokes episodes. Per se, Wolf Through Opens, and upcoming book reviews. Continue on. It was sad to hear his death. It was shocking. Shirley Douglas. Wow. Sad to see the shocking things. Okay, wow. So many much memorial stuff. Jeez. Janet Carnes, my dad. Mrs. Claus. But this is before Stella, which is up next. Wow. Wow.
Tell the storyteller. Phyllis was, she was a bright light. She just came in with so much energy and just a big smile all the time. She was not putting on much of a character. When she came through that door to tell a story, that was as much Phyllis as it was Stella.
We would play little stunts on each other. Now, one of her stories was about a talking fish. And the talking fish, I was stuck underneath the playground risers. And so I was underneath it. We'd cut a hole in it so that you could put the suitcase that the fish was in on top of it. And I was laying down underneath there with my hand up, you know, with the fish on my hand. And she'd come in and we would joke. And during breaks, I grabbed a cigar, stuck it in the fish's mouth, and sort of did a Groucho Marx little thing with the fish. We had fun. And when we could, we would do little stunts with each other and kind of little pranks.
Wow. 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 Shocking, I know. Wow.
She would ad-lib stuff, and there are some great outtakes, you know, things like the door, the famous door that Stella would enter through would get stuck, and the ad-libs that we would hear from her were just hilarious.
Wow.
I was just telling Brian, said, oh my gosh, I remember how she smelled when we hugged her. Her smile, she was so sweet. And the fact that I told Mona years ago, before she passed, we needed to get in touch with her and you know, just see her again. And I really, you know, you always need to do it in the moment. Do what you're going to say.
Wow.
And think about that person because you just never know.
Wow. 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 You know, Shereen Johnson, who was one of my employees of my Acro job, so I'm always Acro, if you watch this, I was very heartbroken the day when Phyllis Jurio, who plays Stella's passing, from Drew Pierce, aka Sonic Hawk, who did at a time like this, it was shocking when Phyllis passed. I did post on my social media posts, except my LJPCBM's Facebook group at the time, page at the time, but that was very shocking to see her death like this. But that was basically heartbroken, you know. But Shereen saw it, and if she's watching this, she'll be my Stella for the rest of my life. Period. Continue on. Grant Jones. Wow. Wow. Heather Smith. Wow. Thank you for part of your making Barney possible. Okay. We miss you, and remember we love you. Wow. Here we go. Get memorial stuff again.
Where do you see the future of Barney? Where's the show going to go?
Well, I think Barney is a classic. He's going to be around for years and years and years. And we feel that Barney's positive message and the loving message that he has for children, the statements that he says about the world, the fact that Barney says anything is possible when you use your imagination, that these things will become part of this generation and the next generation. And they will go on to live the life that Barney describes so beautifully in the shows.
Okay, makes sense. Okay. Makes more perfect sense to anybody. Okay. Makes perfect sense to anybody, ladies and gentlemen. Comment of Jurassic Park 3 difference. Continue on. What is Barney legacy? Okay. Wow.
The positive legacy of it, I like to think, is the aspect of it of using your imagination.
At least to me,
the fact that Barney was so unconditionally loving to everyone, I think made him most accessible to any child, any adult.
It was something that was necessary and is always necessary, and it's universal. And the legacy will be, hopefully, the resonating message that show sent out to the world that was what people walked away with, as well as dolls and plushes and that kind of thing. But that was a reminder of what they got from the show for them. It wasn't I need a t-shirt because this band is coming through town. It was I need this doll because this is important to me. If anything can be moved forward from that show, it would be that people are more in touch with their emotions.
I would like to think, and I would like to agree with those who say that Barney has been a very positive influence on a generation or two of kids, and has taught tolerance and inclusion and understanding, and being able to communicate with each other and respect each other, and creativity, and opening kids up to thinking in a creative way.
I've talked to some younger children over the last 4 or 5 years, and the new young kids I ask, I ask them who Barney is, and they don't know. If you ask 20 or 30-year-olds, I hear a lot of great responses. I used to watch the show.
Barney's legacy is kind of the benchmark for what a kid's show was in the 90s. Barney really cemented itself as something that almost anyone, and I mean talking like across the world, almost anybody knew who Barney was.
I think the legacy is that every child deserves to feel loved, and every child deserves to have that creative outlet. I think it also, it gave creativity a place for kids to see like what it looks like to imagine and what it looks like to be playful and come up with these elaborate stories of magical things that could happen.
Barney was a great babysitter, a great teacher, a friend. I've seen over and over again the kids that feel like Barney helped them through their childhood and saved them because they didn't feel like they belonged. And Barney was there to tell you that you do belong and you're special, and celebrate that.
Wow. Wow.
This concert has been the most fun a dinosaur could
Mhm.
ever have. But it's time for us to go now. When
Wow.
a dinosaur has friends like you, it's like having a great big family. That makes me feel welcome wherever I go. I have to go wherever kids are using their imaginations. Remember, if you wish real hard, I'll be there. Let's all hold hands now and sing I Love You. It's my very favorite song.
Wow. 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 Makes perfect sense, everyone. Wow. 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 Good. Final words, okay.
As I get older, one of my greatest joys is hearing from fans
Wow.
of the show, and I still get fan mail to this day, and for an old filmmaker like me, it warms my heart to know that I actually worked on something that had such a positive influence on people's lives.
To the Barney fans, the show was so well received by so many people because of what its message was, and I think that the message that Barney and Friends was always trying to portray and to give to kids is that all kids deserve to be loved, and all kids need a place to find friendship and a creative outlet, and I think that they did that so well. And people can say what they want about Barney, but it really did help a lot of kids and was a big part of a lot of kids' childhood. So I'm so proud to have been a part of that in any way, and just love what the show did for lots of people.
I just say thank you for being fans. Thank you for being there and for following
Like
us
me.
and continuing to share the joy of Barney and to share the stories. And I think Barney's always been a part of your life and hopefully will continue to be. And Barney was there to be a positive role model. And
Exactly, Larry.
means the world to me, and for what we did continues to touch people and to educate people is a dream come true.
And so grateful to have been a part.
Wow. That was Jeff Hood now? Okay, let's continue on.
Show and the legacy that Barney and Friends leaves behind. It was a really wonderful part of my life, and I hope it brings joy to the people that are watching this movie and continues to bring joy for people who discover Barney even now and beyond. And I think it's nothing but positive things to say about Barney. And thank you for tuning in to watch this and supporting the show for all these years.
Hi, I'm Todd Duffy. I played Scooter McNutty on the amazing kids show Barney and Friends. Thank you. If you are a fan of this show, thank you for having taken the ride with all of us. My ride was exceptional. It was important for me. It was important for me because it was bigger than me. It was about the message, and the message of love, and the message of sharing, and the message of knowing that you're an important person in the world. That was the message that we hope to leave with you as you grew up watching this show.
We want to let you know and tell you and encourage you to always allow yourself to imagine and be free and be a kid, especially in a world where a lot is going on. We just want you to know that we still have love for you. Barney has love for you, has always had love for you, and wants you to know that you are loved. Yeah? And we love you.
I love you, Barney fans. I love you.
What Barney really focused on, and it was never spoken, but what he focused on is that he was trying to impart to your children what it means to be empathetic. And we should all, whenever we watch children's television with our kids, or put our kids in front of it, we should make sure that these are characters and these are words and these are things that are going on. They're going to help your kid become an empathetic child. There's nothing more important than that.
It's great to hear adults now say what Barney meant to them.
I want to thank all the fans, no matter how old you are now. You were watching back in the 90s.
Wow.
Appreciate you doing that.
He has a little beard now? Okay, we continue on. Hang on.
With some of you, and thank you for watching, and hopefully you're having your kids watch too. Thanks.
This is Pat Reeder. I was the first head writer working on the Barney show. If I have any message to people who love Barney, it is that one of the things I put in that to me was the most important thing that came from my mother, Nelda June Reeder, was that if you ever had to be anywhere for a long time, wish you were in the library, because with your imagination and a book, you can go anywhere in the universe. And the message I wanted to put into Barney that has survived, I think, to this day is use your imagination.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I've tried to do all my life, and I hope that message
Mm.
came down to you. Use your imagination, kids.
If you're a fan of Barney, then you truly know what he's about. And it was a great time to be watching PBS, watching TV as a child. No better excuse, and you couldn't learn anything negative from Barney.
Thanks for your support over the years. It was
Wow.
a joy and a pleasure to be a part of the show, and I hope that we created something that was a positive influence
Mhm.
In your life.
I loved working on Barney because what the Barney show tried to emulate to kids was very special, and I think that Barney over the years achieved those goals, and showing the love to kids and showing them how to love one another, and showing how to just be nice people.
Behind the scenes, there's all these writers
Mhm.
and producers and directors and songwriters. They all really
Wow.
loved the fact that they were reaching out to small children with love and giving them a message of love. You watch Barney and you feel loved. There are really, really cool people behind the scenes that really do want to spread that message of love.
I still care about you. I'm delighted that I hear from so many people who have good memories and good experiences. You and me and a lot of other people are all still part of the big Barney family, and I love that. So thank you, and keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you for always supporting the show and having Barney a part of your life and your family. And I hope
Wow, that was Lauren K. Now? Okay, continue on anyway.
though Barney isn't broadcast anymore, I hope that you have been able to take the lessons that you learned as a child and apply them in your life, and hopefully you remember them enough to teach your own kids and the next generation. It's a part of our household, and yeah, he was a sensation.
Hey, it's Bob West, and I am here with a certain friend of ours that we may have in common by the name of Barney. Hi there.
Wow.
It's great to see you. I just want to say, love you lots. Keep using your imagination.
Thank you so much for watching Barney and Friends on PBS. We think public broadcasting is a marvelous way of supporting quality children's programming. It's really a gateway into a fascinating world of learning and exploration for both parents and children. And we appreciate your support. It's a perfect home for Barney. Thank you very much.
Wow, okay. Makes more sense anyway. Barney the dinosaur. Makes sense. Wow. So much kisses going on. Okay, makes sense. Wow. 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 Okay. It's making more sense anyway. Okay. The end. Okay. Perfect ending.
And that, folks, is a wrap.
Created by Matt Parrish. Okay.
We want Matt Ranger to see this.
Okay.
I mean, you kind of look like a football coach a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. I
That's
worked
good.
in college sports,
Wow.
and you remind me of the coaches.
Wow. 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 Based on the creation by Cheryl Leach, okay?
Wow, this is one in the blooper reel. using your imagination. Okay? All right. Oh, let me try that again.
Does that mean you're a Dallas Cowboys fan?
Yes.
Oh boy.
Yes.
Hello.
Wait, I'm gonna zoom in.
Wow.
Here we go.
The main thing that Barney helped with, well, start again.
Here's take two.
Oh my!
Wow.
Speaking of talented people, you who does so many other.
No? What? What are you talking about?
Bob! Matt! Come on, do you want?
Sure, you know. Sure, we can do that.
Sure.
You got a siren going on out there? Well, I hope it's
Yeah.
not your place.
No.
Are you under arrest or am
Way down here, hi kids, how are you, Tina? Mrs. Claus, this is the backyard gang.
Mrs. Claus?
Wow.
You to meet all of my friends.
That
Wow.
is what I call the Wagner Barney, the operatic Barney.
Who, me?
Wow.
Don't look at me. My feet are too big.
Wow. Just wow, guys.
Now I know which one you are. You just said you're Monet and I. Okay, now I get. Now I know which one you
I talk too much. We were just having fun.
What y'all know about Kirk Franklin? You know?
Wow.
What?
We used to, what was I talking about? It was, I was talking about the,
You were talking about meeting Beyonce one day.
I'm meeting Beyonce. Never met Beyonce myself.
I don't think I ever actually did get in the costume. Any of the crew did.
Use your imagination.
Wait. Joel Sanders was narrating? Wow. Makes sense. Continue on. Huh.
And it came, you know, I don't take any credit for that. That came from my mother.
The recipe, the formula that he did for Barney, that's his legacy, and that's how Barney is successful.
Have these famous little shoes
Oh my gosh.
that I wore. So somehow we were able to keep that. Still has some tape on the bottom from filming.
I can't remember what I had for breakfast. Come on. Oh my gosh.
I have to ask my students. Yes, I know you're a famous video journalist back from Bosnia and Herzegovina. Where they were shooting Sherry and Lamb Chops.
So that was your special, The History of Barney Friends, the final part. I think it was amazing. So far this episode, this final part was a success. That was what I was asking for 1,493. Hope you enjoyed. Staying there's gonna be LJPCBM 1,494, which will be about Sandland demo gameplay PS5 raw videos for 2 episodes each with these 2 episodes. Till next time, so John's Box baby, Garage BS Brazil, say out. See ya.
Given unto me this life I'll never take for granted, and given all the time I failed to really understand it, I never sought to meet the maker of reality, the one who gave the life that which is always happening, but I tried all the time. Why was I the one to see things as I do under the moonlight and the sun? Perception is the question and the giver holds the key, but The only worth I've ever found was in melody. I still try.